All right, we're going to our next test. Remember last week we talked about the first test. The first category you could possibly choose is giver versus taker. So the second category, if you remember our acronym GCAM, now GCAM is like God's camera. That's how you can remember it. God's camera. God is watching, he's sending the test, and he's watching to see if we're going to pass. C. C is connection versus estrangement. By my reacting in the situation during this test, how do we know it's a test? Because it's hard, you remembered. Reacting in the situation is either going to bring me closer to this person or farther away. Connection versus estrangement. When it's between you and your spouse, you never have to wonder, what test is this? Well, is this or is it? No, it's always this test. It's always connection versus estrangement. By my reacting in this situation, either it's going to bring me closer to my spouse or farther away. There is no other option. Things that we even think are neutral, like a woman reminds her husband to take out the garbage. For you, it's being instructive and productive. How is he interpreting it? You're being nagging and not respecting him. What? It's just instructive. I'm being helpful. No. There are no neutral interactions between a husband and wife. Every interaction either brings us closer together or farther apart. Connection versus estrangement. When it's between us and our children, you never have to wonder, which category is this? It's always this category. Either this is going to bring me closer to my child or farther away. So let me give you an example. Sarah Yocheved Regler, I learned a lot of this wisdom from her. So she said publicly this story. She said that her husband came home one night and said, honey, let's go out for dinner. So they went out for dinner. And during dinner he said, I have to tell you something. She goes, what? He said, you know, cousin deadbeat, well, he took out a loan and I co-signed on it. And he didn't pay the loan back, and now they're coming to me to pay back the money. So you know the $2,000 we've been saving up for our family vacation in Netanya? We have to give it back to the organization that loaned him the money. Now, if you're the wife and you have to react in this situation, is this a test? For most women, it's a test. I have to tell you, I had a woman at my table in Washington, D.C., and I said, is this a test? And she goes, no, it's not. I go, let's add a few zeros. She was very wealthy. I go, now it's $200,000. She goes, now it's a test. Whether you have to take off zeros, $200, or add zeros. For most women, a husband would do this without asking us. It's a test. So what did she do? She said to her husband, I have to leave the table for a few minutes. She left the table, she went out to the Jerusalem night, and she said to herself, this is a test. This is a test sent to me by God because he loves me and he wants me to be great. I recognize it's a test and I choose, she said, actually took her 5 minutes to say, and I choose connection. She went back to the table and she said to her husband, okay, obviously I would have preferred if you had come to me and asked me, but we're in this together and we're going to get through this together. It's been 6 months and they've never come for the money. Why? Because it has nothing to do with the money. It has nothing to do with her husband, has nothing to do with cousin deadbeat. This is a test between her and God. And often, when we pass the test goes away. I'm Lori, Almost Live.